This is Shell Road in Virginia Beach, a very beautiful country lane that invites walking. This is not Shell Road, it is Indian River Road, a road that runs adjacent to a very nice neighborhood, a family-oriented neighborhood. Unfortunately, Indian River Road is a road filled with traffic and is not necessarily conducive to a nice, quiet walk. But let's talk about Shell Road, a road that runs along a beautiful lake in Virginia Beach, a road that invites long, intimate walks along a very beautiful lake, a lake that welcomes not only photographers but men and women who fish. As you can see, its beauty is really astounding. I feel very sad when I hear of roads such as Shell Road in neighborhoods that are unsafe to walk. Fear of taking a walk in your own neighborhood is a very serious problem and one that should be solved immediately. Fear to me is one of those feelings, one of those emotions that should be eliminated or at least curtailed when possible. When an individual inflicts fear, such as the terrorism that is involved in having neighborhoods live in fear, that is indefensible. When government leaders do it, it should be criminal, no matter how subtle or the excuse. As for me, I would love to be on a jury of anyone guilty of terrorism, that is, the act of terrorizing innocent people. Such acts of terrorism, a mugger for example, would be guaranteed a conviction for me, if in fact it was proven that such a mugger was guilty. There is simply no excuse for inflicting that sort of fear in people. And fortunately, I do everything in my power to avoid jurors because, in fact, jurors are usually influenced by zealous prosecutors, incompetent defense lawyers, corrupt judges, and policemen who lie. Justice is almost always misplaced in our courts. One of the major reasons why we read so often about innocent people being thrown into our prisons. So, I avoid being on a jury. If I were ever in a position to ask President Obama a favor, it would be to take to heart the concept of liberty and justice for all. Wouldn't that be great if that was the case for all Americans? As a matter of fact, wouldn't that be wonderful if that was the case for all people? Liberty and justice for all. Is there a way, you think, to guarantee justice in our legal system? Oh well. We're talking about Shell Road, a place, thank God, where people can still walk and enjoy. And I hope that will never cease. And should that ever cease because of a mugger or someone who inflicts fear on the walkers and the residents of this beautiful neighborhood, I do want to be on that jury, because being on that jury would give me a chance to guarantee a conviction for one of the worst parasites in this world, a person who inflicts fear by terrorizing another. Incidentally, and this is a side note, is it true, can it be true, that since 1950 we, meaning the government, have executed over 100 innocent people? Could that be true? You do understand the paradox. I want the guilty to be prosecuted, but I want above all else justice. You remember Duke University? Persecution at all costs, guilty or not.